Another Botcon has arrived. It's like they show up once a year. Crazy. I crawled out late and headed to Indianapolis from Chicago. Oh crap. So with a small adjustment, I am back on the highway. I got to see the greatest store in all of Indiana. If you know, you know. I proceeded to cut through the middle, rural Indiana. It was exciting to see a dead animal in the road being eaten by a turkey, which is a great omen for my arrival at Botcon. I will be walking around and showing various booths at first. Then I'll start talking about the toys as well as showing all the great purchases as I make them. I will be mainly focused on vintage Transformers and rare items in this video. I have some amazing purchases starting at the 14-minute mark. Stay to the end and I'll show you the prize purchases of the show that I had to do off camera. So please enjoy the video and the stupid humor. And this is the second version that they produced with the chrome. This is Dr. Yellow, which is the Shinkansen that they use to test the track, which just decommissioned recently in Japan. Then there's this clear version. These are very, very tough to get, hence a little pricey. Lots of Leos and Star Sabers and Overlords. A little too many, actually. Glorious Japanese stuff. Some of this stuff is actually going to be cheaper now than Mandarake in Japan. Isn't that crazy? That we've come to that point. So yeah, not bad prices. Wonderful Diaclone. Some of these pieces I'm tempted to be honest with you. Very nice loose stuff, very fair prices. So Artfire's booth and Transformerland booth are the largest booths for vintage toys. Transformerland continues on to Beast Wars, G2, and further. I always keep coming back to these booths. Last year I picked up a sealed Snapdragon from them. It's also wonderful to see all this just in one showcase and just admire it all. Other sellers are bringing newer toys like Titans, and they're just selling loose lots, packaged lots, and they're very popular. And this is just a sample of all 4 rows of just sellers selling amazing stuff. All these are Botcon exclusives in the previous years.
Yeah, well, it's like the stupid trading cards. They were for years.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
blew up.
And I same with you. I'm like, oh, orange back version of Megatron's now worth X amount of money, and
Skywarp stickers, $400.
Which is, yeah, I'm with you. Just take the money, shut up, and run. That was always a really fun, weird set. It just turns into a stereo. And there was 2 different color types. Fossil Lord is getting more love than I ever could imagine. $1,000. And that used to be battery operated originally. The first concept, the one they showed in the catalogs. These are really fair prices on this stuff. I should come back here. I'm trying to look at the vintage stuff first, then going through the new stuff. Okay, $40. Oh, I love this series so much. It was just very few people got excited over it. It was a basic, how they would have looked in the 80s. It was a perfect recreation of terrible G1. It was made to be worn packaged like this. Oh, I love that combiner. That's a more difficult Wild Force piece, but they're asking 30, which isn't that bad. The elephant's the rarest.
Prize at the registration booth, 442.
But it's missing a horn.
Thank you.
We're flipped around for the moment here, but again, not too bad. Like got a sound wave with the cassette, 35, with some wear. Yeah, it's like I love these questions. Did this come from a house that the person smoked? Maybe, maybe. Usually in the Japan versus sun faded, if they're like that, yeah, that's just smoke. That you cannot get by that. Yeah, I think that's a really good price. That's my gas money.
We should be good all the way to the bottom. As long as one of them goes the hole. So now I've got
Thank you very much.
sir, thank you.
Thank you. So that was a pretty good deal. Sorry for not talking too much early on. I'm just like, these will probably have better deals. Just shove that stuff in there. $5 each. 10 Pegatron for $5. They're not complete, but this is the fun stuff. The bins usually end up. Look at this. So $3 each. You get a bootleg Power Dasher. Lots of little mini cons. Oh, hell yeah. Well, no tail on them, but that's where the fun stuff is. And the show's pretty big. It's a great size. So there's 3 aisles. Well, actually, there's 4 aisles. That's impressive. I've been at too many Botcons these days where I just, you know, just seen too much, and I own too much. So I'm looking just for specific stuff. I'm not trying to dive into too much new stuff. When they reissued these, it got me. Let's put it that way. That's just a personal thing. Lots of non-transformers here. Let's move over. We really like the stuff, but it's not our jam. Nice funky outfit.
Hey.
Oh, hello. Doing the usual. So we have some Diaclone up here. That's pretty cool. Take a look at that. This is Tony's booth. So he's asking $7.50. That's a very fair price. The box is still pretty clean. He's yellowed inside. Is it unused? All the paperwork?
I think so. Well, we'd have to double check, but I think.
And then he's got a red one for $7.50.
And it's different from the carded one.
Okay, that's
That was the
different.
one from the Botcon 96 auction.
Oh, they auction off him too? I mean, I was a little young then.
I guess that's when I remember your parents. Here's the yellow. That's not G1, but that's the yellow alternator.
Swerve.
Unreleased. No, tracks.
Damn, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I only got. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Aaron worked on it, so I showed it to him. Yeah, I remember that. Books too.
Oh.
Didn't have it. I think he's had it. Didn't have it. I think he's had it.
that just
Lots of stuff you'll see here.
Yeah.
Art fire.
Alex, something. Anything on that library?
Didn't have it. I think he's had
Okay, and what are you asking on the RCs?
Open or
Open.
Huh?
Open.
Open.
Opa.
Open.
I know. This is what you've been working towards your whole life. All the schooling, your family, your travels, all led to this moment of me asking you, how much is it open? What are you asking on, Leo?
400 each or 600 for the set.
That's very fair. The boxes are so mint. That's why you're gonna get that value. Okay. Yeah, nice big ding down. Look what you did. Look what you did. Why would you do this to my family?
Because it's funny. It made me laugh.
Said 500 and 700. Okay.
I do set deals as well. If you get multiple things.
So if I get the Coke can in addition, you'll go lower than the toys. That sounds like a great plan.
Well, I would just pour the Coke all over it. Yeah.
Which would be, I would laugh because it would be funny to me. I'd still buy them, but if I bought these two and the Browning.
Browning, really? I want the Browning. 1400
For all three?
for Browning and the two antagonists.
Yeah, that's fine.
You fell for it.
Is it a real gun?
Yep.
So I can rob a bank with that. I'll get the cash after I rob the bank.
I have a good question for each of you. What is the coolest toy that you wanted to put out, and then it was no?
Well, for me, it was that Shogun Optimus, that Shogun Warrior Optimus. But that the market told me no, not the management actually. But I don't know. Did I ever get told any no's from management? You go. I'll think.
I mean, there were a lot of concepts that I had, a lot of concepts I had guys on the outside working on. I think the one that I would have loved to see the most would have been basically a Cyber scale broadside from the Fall of Cybertron game, which he ended up not even being in the game, I think, but he was like a land badge.
I have him on my poster. I pitched a Optimus that transformed into Megatron.
I remember that, yeah.
Robot
yeah.
to robot.
Yeah.
To celebrate the heroes of the brand. So it's a different kind of item, right? It's a conceptual item to celebrate your appreciation of these two characters. And I think I was the only one that really saw that as an interesting idea, to be honest.
I thought it was an interesting idea.
You made this so hard to reach, so I can't steal anything. So we have a Night Racer for $1,800. Holy guinea pigs. But this was the 1995 Botcon exclusive, so after 94, where they had a G2 Breakdown, which is an unproduced toy technically produced for them, they kind of went down in quality because, you know, Hasbro's like, look, we did a great thing for you last time, but we don't have G2 to really offer you like that. So they did Night Racer, little blue highlights, but the toy is a wonderful full production piece, though the package, though, is a little bit on the lesser side. You got about $50. These are little Japanese trading cards. Look at this. Got Black Zarek, got Abominus, Superion, Defensor. Flip it over. These are all the original Japanese and US artwork. Fort Max is an ace. And this stuff, if I'm correct, these would have been a free insert in with a TV Kids magazine, because they try their best to get the kids with like little building paper kits or trading cards like this, because at this point Transformers is still very popular, so you can splurge a little more money on creating like freebies that will really have stronger value. This one's 65. I have not bumped into this one. Yeah, I'm buying this stuff. Look at that. Yeah, I think I might be buying this one, dude. And all my trips in Japan, I've not seen these cards before. It doesn't mean they're very rare, but like nowadays, with Japan being so dried up, you're just not going to find this stuff, let alone for a really fair price, because everything's just getting tougher. So like, I think I'm buying some stuff. He's busy writing on somebody else. We have over here a test shot Waspinator. Usually when they do test shots, the first ones that come out will be in non-production colors because they're just using whatever plastic is in the machine to test the molds themselves, send those samples to Hasbro, and then they'll be like, that's great, continue on. Let's see one that's in production colors. So this would be the next stage. And these are still collected, but people are more excited about the pieces that are in non-production colors. They're all wacky. This is one of my personal favorites. This is the Action Master Trax that was only released in Europe. The last series, they got Bombshell, they got Takeoff, they got Sideswipe, and it's just absolutely the artwork, the colors, everything's so bright because we're all, you know, the early 90s. Come on, guys, right? I just, fantastic stuff. I already have this one carded and loose for myself, but there's just some great stuff here. And I mentioned earlier, I'm sorry for the terrible reach arounds. So here we have a weird hybrid, which rarely ever happens, and I'm looking at this with Transformers. This is a primered hard copy, but it actually combines plastic injection molded pieces, which is just bonkers. And in general, it's possible that they had hit a point where the steel molds were created in China, and then they wanted to go back and change things. And they had to fabricate new pieces, and they took the test shot, took it apart, and then put the fabricated new resin pieces on top of that, primered it all gray so all the details pop, and then said, okay, this is the new model. What do you guys say? And if they say that's great, that they like the changes, we like the changes a lot, then they're going to move forward with this being the new version and then make those new steel mold parts and make the new version. But stuff like this just rarely pops up. You will find test shot pieces because the Chinese factories make a lot of those. Some pop up from China or Taiwan or Macau. And so, of course, sometimes they pop up in the States, but you just don't find too many resin hand-painted hard copies. There are very few of these usually made, maybe 3 to 4, depending on how much effort's needed. It might be a little bit more, but not a bad price in general for that. And here at Credo's booth, we also have Barbarian. So this is a all resin hard copy. I've seen uncompleted versions of this figure already as well, resin hard copies, but nobody else. Like, there's so many interesting things that are going on at Hasbro Kenner in 1985 Beast Wars stuff. It's bonkers to me. For doing prototypes for the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and 2000s, it just confuses me. But this version is an unproduced version because he has these little kneecaps back there. And the catalog showed the kneecaps, and then after a little while, they're like, yeah, drop that cost. We don't need that. And so technically, it is an unproduced color variant, as well as, because he's Polar Claw, the kneecaps. So that's intriguing. So Preto's booth, he's been collecting for so long, it's ridiculous. And he goes back to, you know, pretty much OG Botcons. That's what we're here for. He's been doing it for quite some time. Again, look at this knockoff blaster. That is so huge. And these knockoffs, they were producing these in like the 90s and a little bit early 2000s, jumbo size like this. And then they just stopped making killer knockoffs like this. And he had years ago, I regret not buying it, a Defensor gift set. So they're all in a big ass box. And Hot Spot was like this big. First day was like a brick. I mean, you may still have it someday. We'll try to get that.
Up, I know that. Okay, I'll hold off on that one.
Yeah. So then
The Jets are more enticing. Flu's complete at 60. Flu's complete at 45.
oh, still got one on the screw.
But at 65, you monster.
I know. I had to upcharge, you know.
By the time I said 60 on this one, and you pulled this one out within a glimpse, you had like Dio's power of the world, and you changed the price to extra $5. I saw that.
No, you didn't see it. I'm too quick.
Does he have missiles? Yes, they're just thrown in there, right?
Should be
Yeah. Okay.
all slammed in there.
That's the way I like my.
Since 2016.
Yeah. So all the toys he had them in storage, and he's doing the right thing. He hit all the prices from 2016, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to change any of the prices. I just want this stuff gone, and that's how you do it. This is the bootleg version. So this is the blue crotch Grimlock, which is just like Diaclone, and the quality is so good that so many people think they have a Diaclone, but there's no markings on the inner thigh that says Takara. So this guy's selling you a bootleg. He's trying to rip nothing. $59, 65 is still pretty fair. 65, got cassettes. Oh my God, the glow. No matter how many times I touch this stuff and look at it, I still am happy to like see this stuff. It's still emotional to me. These are all good.
The funny part is you didn't even ask me the price on the cassettes, and they don't have the sticker on, but I still remember the price I put on.
Okay.
$15.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Like I could get these in the store in Toys R Us for like $5 for 2 of them.
Oh, I know. I go to Toys R Us every week.
No, I'm just I write that to people when they shoot me lowball offers on items. I'll just say, go to Toys R Us. Why don't you just go pick it up? So you got Beast Box. And if you guys didn't know, the original Beast Box was just like Rewinded Eject, and his head popped out. And then Hasbro demanded they make him into a combiner, and then they had worked out for the best. They were right in the end. That one's got funky color issues. Yeah, all the reissues have destroyed so much of this market. Definitely take him. Okay, I'm ready to check out.
What you got?
I have buy one, get one free.
I didn't see the sign for that.
I will make it for you.
All right.
35 for the Dirge.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So that is 105, 140. 140, that is
205.
205, that's 220. That's 245. 250.
That's fine. And there's a point where 265 to 250. How could you be a mean? I mean, really, now I'm not joking. There are people who are like a 200. Like, I am so cheap as it is. Respect me. So I'm with you on that, dude. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're at the next booth. He just picked up Magmatron for $75, and he picked up a Botcon RC for $200. We got Sideswipe for $100.
Help! Grab my battery. About to lose it. Thank you.
We're helping them bring card blocking to the U.S.
I saved you, man. That was life and death.
Yeah, I could have caught fire and blown up and destroyed the whole place.
So then the guy said he's asking $20 for everything else on the table. I gotta deal with those. No, I'm just joking.
You know, you said 15. Quit lying to your audience.
So we have Seal Topspin Twin Twist. They're not in the best shape, but he offered me to get $65 each. So we're gonna take those. Look at this, guys. Cat Scan, Botcon exclusive, $50. Look at that. That is a killer deal. And not only because of that, he has 2 of them.
There will be a lot more things we need to do.
So grab the Sideswipe.
I live in Europe.
And he's asking a question of trivia. The trivia question, you get this for free. The mutating card game. What is the first Transformer that actually had camouflage on it? Like militaristic and so forth. So we had the G2 Megatron tank you were talking about, but it's, you know, what's earlier than that? So even I don't know, man. So I think we're good to go. This is a great purchase. It's been okay today. We got our guy stocking up stuff right here.
Came out. I thought the next one was supposed to be Construction Zone Bulkhead.
Or am I thinking
That
of a
one came out.
repaint of the Voyager?
That one came
Oh,
out.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That was like.
Well, if it came out, then it's one I have.
We got everything here. Other pieces already sold because it was just like a grab fest for a quick moment. So these were 50 bucks each. I got the sealed jump starters for 120, but they are a little bit worn. We've got a engineering pilot, 20. We have 2 Botcon exclusive Decepticons at 30 bucks each. That's for myself. We got the side swipe. We got the Baroness tossed in for free. Hell yeah. And he originally quoted $5, but we're not going to do that. We're going to look this up right now and give him a proper price because he was just, I want to get rid of it. And we're like, no. The market's up there. So we're going to be fair. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you too.
Yay.
So now we have the unproduced bulkhead battle bumper. Oh no, I broke it.
SWAT bulkhead.
There we go. Look at that. This is probably one of a few known to exist in the world, and there's only a few people in this world that also exist that know what this is. So it kind of pans out.
And I opened it up and it had the no cuddles or hugs. No cuddles or hugs. Or regrets.
Regrets. That Snickers commercial still is in my head. No regrets. The guy sold all the instruction booklets I came back to look at because he was great prices and they're all gone. But he's got a lot of wonderful catalogs, Japanese, international, early Japanese stuff at times, and that's great. I'm just gonna like make a pile, make a deal. Like he wants this stuff gone. Like just my motivator gripper. That was, if people don't know, that was my nickname in high school, the gripper. It was for football. I had a good grip in the shower. I mean, on the field.
Yeah, never let go.
Never let go.
You got to go with your strengths.
Gotta go with your strengths.
Fluffer nutter comes I think that's a boo-boo. Okay. It's like an accident. Gotcha. Fluffer nutter. You didn't have the cameras rolling.
Jesus, there's a lot of this stuff. This is nuts. Oh, I've already gone in a full circle. Like, and I like to buy dead mint ones, but then I have so many dead mint ones and no one's. That's just how it is.
I mean, some people just sell a bag of them.
Yeah, or just dump them on a dumb idiot who's looking at them like, ooh, I could do something with this.
Well, I'm hoping.
Okay, it's kind of not. Let me just be honest with you. I'm interested, but it's not. I can cut the stack in half. Let me just put it that way. I just want to see where you stand if I bought that.
7, 38, only 39. $40.
Yeah, absolutely, $40. I love you.
For 39 of them.
39. All of that.
Before you put them in.
$40. This is why Botcon rocks. Nice and clean too. You're not like those ghetto people that use the pre-used with food crumb Ziploc bags.
No, I got rid of those.
Oh, you ate all those
Yeah.
because Mai's been tight. He
Yeah. If you came here earlier, you would have got them.
Mai's so tight. I got all my old Ziploc bags out and got all the crumbs out and made a sandwich from like 20 years of crumbs. Thank you very much, sir.
Not a problem.
It's still quite amazing to see the unproduced Protectabots, and the color scheme for Streetwise is absolutely stellar. This is a proof card, so that's why this part is unpunched where the car would go. It's just a package sample where they're saying like, okay, is everything good? All the prints fine? Did all the colors line up? There's anything we want to change? And then they have China say like, okay, now merge the bubble, toy, and package, and you get the final samples. But these are never made. Here's Blades, the SWAT version. Oh my God. And I personally own 0 of these. I kept waiting because they got the final production samples. So I kept thinking that some employee at some point is going to let go a ton of these. Like you'll wait, and then someday 20 carded of each character will show up and the market will drop. And I just kept waiting for that, and it never happened. Crazy as it is, this guy he bought a carded one and opened it up last year, and this is the backer card. No bubble. He threw it out, and he didn't even use a razor blade to cut it around to keep the artwork smooth. Right? And then we have First Aid, which is a gold baby blue. Is weird. The whole Defensor set is just insane. But same thing. All of these guys came out on final production samples. The crazy part is, and this is also for the Senticons as well, but the main combiner, which is going to be Hotspot or Motor Master, they are much more difficult to find, even loose samples. And that's the make or break if you want the full combiner. I think I might still buy the Groove, to be honest with you, just to have something. And this is an original artwork of Goldbug, the Throttle Bots, and there's Slapdash and Joyride and Getaway. That's pretty. Got a lot of good characters on this one. And man, I mean, I have a few pieces like this for myself, original inks, and they're just fun novelty. Like when you were buying this stuff in the early 2000s, they're like $75 each, $100 each, and you're just like, that's neat. I like that character. I'll buy that. And then of course now, since years have gone by, there are die-hard collectors. There's people like just this whole little bubble of collectors just became bigger and bigger, and now it's some of these things can go for pretty good money. I should probably ask on that one, to be honest with you. There's no price on it, but I should just ask. When in doubt, just ask them. So we are back at Tony's booth. Look at this puppy. This is an unproduced color for a Micromaster from Transformers. That is amazing. And I am not able to have him part with it at this moment. But anything unproduced, let alone G1 Transformers, that is so tough to get. So it's just nice to even hold one in my hand and just say, piece of toy history. This booth. Prito's booth just has vintage gloriness. So I have actually never in my entire trips to Japan seen this. And if you've noticed, that is artwork that I've personally never seen before. So we have Inferno, Prowl, Megatron. That's kind of like the way it was. Look at Ravage. He's like, oh, hell yeah. This artwork is absolutely what they need to do. They deviated from the blocky looking, and now he's moving. He's got the legs. He can't do much with that. It's novelty stuff, but like there's so much unique novelty stuff in Japan. It is just absolutely insane. So I just gotta put that back up. I have no idea what the hell he's asking on that. I don't get into this stuff. I like the little image of squeeze play. These are British cassettes and books, and $75 each. That should be a really fair price, because this stuff doesn't show up at all. It's by Ladybug, which is very fancy little small books they produce for all these various toy lines and franchises. They have Chrome Dome. There's Telltale. There's a whole pile. And again, he bought these things so far in the past that he got them for great deals. It's just like, I've even seen this, the LCD game for Beast Wars Japan. That is neat. And again, $120 doesn't sound that bad. They were all here before. I just didn't even see this stuff because just constantly there's just too much. I wonder if this is a sample. These were beautiful. Pyro as well. The last of the last. I mean, technically it is G1, but it was issued in Europe only, and I got put under like the G2 banner. But beautiful design. Love the weapon pack. How it was a missile launching. Again, I'm now getting all excited. I'm geeking out. You'll know when I do videos if I'm just rambling on about crap. My tone is down. But when I see stuff like ooh, I'm feeling it. I still, when it comes down to G2 prototypes that have never been produced, it really comes down to if the toy itself is a repaint, because most of the unproduced ones are repaints. Is it a prototype of a produced G1 figure and then repainted? Those are more valuable and desired than a G2 vehicle that's been repainted. So this is still a G2 repainted. Gotta start buying stuff, man. We gotta start buying stuff. This, again, we're back to this small shelf. This is the Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen had a Optimus Prime miniature figure. This thing is so hard to find. But also the issue is so few people know about it. Man, we're trying buying up the world, man. Win the lottery and buy the world. That is the game plan. Okay.
Apparently, I was told later on that somebody was like throwing some, like beer bottles.
Yeah,
but that it wasn't
us.
And this is, we'll wrap it up with his booth. So this is the map of the Battle Beast world in Japan. And if you look at this, this is a store display. So this is a top tour display. There's the white Leo and everything. And these are all perforated. There we go. This is much better. This explains it, everything. So the top is perforated little areas. You can see on the bottom there. And for 200 yen, you get one chance, that's what this symbol is for kanji, to punch a random hole in the map, and there's toys underneath in the box, and you could get the sled with Skull Grotesque. Other times it was the Crystal Carp or the Striped Crystal Carp, but it was all chance. And it's just an amazing set. The display was sent with the box with figures, and there's a backup box with like all the figures just put in there, and they gave you 2 lids, and this is one of the lids that has wear, but it's still a historical part of the Battle Beast lore. I love this stuff, but I already have one, but I'm curious what he's asking. Okay, so he got the Diaclone Sunseeker police car out. It has the classic fading, but it is in absolutely wonderful shape, and I was like, oh my god, look how shiny that is. Unused, look at the trees there with all the missiles on. So now I was like, no way. Because with Diaclone in general, and most toys, but like Diaclone, it's the paperwork being unused. You know, I have one that's not yellowed in my collection. The stickers may not be as strong because they get worn pretty easy just to age, but mine's not this clean. So the box is in really nice shape. Like you're not going to find these in dead mint flawless every time. This is as good as it gets. So then I was like, paperwork. He has the catalog, he has this insert, and then I was like, does he have it? And lo and behold, there's the unused sticker sheet, which is the most difficult to find in my, so I don't know if there's any difference between this sticker sheet and the red version. That is something for you guys to let me know. But if it's this unused, it's an absolutely fantastic price. I'm gonna try to give him the $700.
Hey everyone, you got
yeah, let's go for it. Okay, we got it for $725. I know. So this will probably resell on eBay for about $4,000. Yeah, I like his face. No, I'm gonna.
I did my homework.
I'm gonna swap out.
Well, I don't know. The red one doesn't sell that well.
No, it's still a clean box though. If it's a clean box like you have, then people want it. They want the red Sunstreaker, but it's got to be minty, minty, minty. And you have a nicer one than most. So this will be swapped out. Sticker sheet I'll keep for myself. The card I have is better, but this will work out just fine. So thank you, Mr. Prito. Yes, I am still stuck upon this artwork. He's asking $800 for it. As a collector and as a guy, I just don't find female Transformers to be a thing for me. There are other people. It's just how it is. If I want to get this type of satisfaction that Megatron's having, I go rub my own toaster, okay? That's where I'm seeing right here. And the toaster that I have is this pissed off and angry. Everything's goddamn burnt when I get it, but that's okay. I still love my toaster. That's the later version without the Rub sign there. Actually, a lot of these are. And there's a rub sign one. Which one do you prefer? Rub sign or no rub sign? I prefer the rub sign. Though I do like the idea of it. Well, that's a good debate, actually. Yeah, just the market's gone up so much in this stuff. At least the Action Masters are still somewhat fair. Okay, maybe not as fair. Okay. Love me my monster bots. I'd bristle as a kid, bristleback. Some of these have different bubbles. There's two variations, mainly on Quake, where the figure has, they have one? No, they don't. But the figure's to the side because it was too thick, and then they actually make a special bubble later on so you can stick out. There we go. So here's the Quake, and you can see right here, this one made the special bubble so you can face forward, but normally you had to face at the angle. That was the first version. I mean, if you care, I personally have an AFA 85 Quake with him facing the side, and I'm kind of like, I would prefer, but at this point, with these prices, I am not part of this world anymore, I would probably say. Let's put it that way. Since they allow me back here because they trust me, which is their fault. That's still cool, the alternate color. That is still a very difficult set. Actually, Scourge, the rumor, which, you know, rumor, the Scourge was 1 per case and Cyclonus was 3. That was the rumor for like many years. Again, who's found a sealed case to actually compare to? I don't even have one this nice. This was always a huge issue, is this gray protector. So you usually see when they're opened up, this piece is always tossed. So you will see the styrofoam underneath, but you don't see this piece. This is very hard to get. The box condition here is also insane. That is a wonderful, wonderful condition there. The food behind it, that's worth even more money. That's why they're hiding it from you. They know people want that food. Remember? I just picked up, the guy's just like, we're done. And this is those magical moments at the end of the show where people need to approach the dealers and be like, are you willing? Be nice about it, you know, don't be rude, but it's like, are they willing to go down to this, let stuff go? So he picked up a lot of stuff. I got 2 Fractal Impact Rats boxed. We are picking up more right now. So we have Sealed Chakarat, and the guy said at this point he wants to go, and he's asking 200. So say yes, and you say thank you. You don't. Some people are childish and will then literally counter offer. When the dealer is this nice, you just nod your head and smile and say thank you.
And they appreciate it.
Damn right. That's a lesson for a lot of you hardcore wannabe dealers. Don't be like Pawn Stars, trust me. So we were talking about these. We have Windrazor, we have 2 of these, and we have the lovely Black Arachnian Repaint as RC, which doesn't talk anymore, which is a great feature. They didn't think about it in the long term. You know, 20 years later, everyone opened a box up and doesn't say anything. So he said the guy's being really nice. What would you want for all 3 of these sealed?
500.
500. So and we have Sandstorms I was looking at, and this was not as loved originally, but nowadays people are into it. Clean shape, dead stock sealed. How much?
200.
And the S3. Look at a 3-piece volume set. Is it like
same book?
Same book. This is like the Lord of the Rings right here trilogy in book form. I'm just messing with you. So, I mean, as I said, like, this is why you buy things, pick up the stuff you really, really want. But if you're wanting to wait a little while, some dealers are willing to work with you. And that's one of the secrets about Botcon. Or you just follow people back to their car at the end of the show and you may make the nightly news. You know, you could be famous. So I think we're going to stop there, and thank you so much for this. This is a pile. So, guys, I think this is probably the last part of the show. It is Sunday. It's winding down, but there's still people to talk to, hang out, enjoy yourself, and it's Botcon, dude. Have a blast. So what was the question again?
The absolute lowest you can go on that Prime.
Not a problem. Okay, it's up here. Check this out. The absolute lowest we can go.
We can go lower.
Okay, there we go.
All right, now it's dad joke Prime.
The stupid humor on the end of a Sunday. Ooh. So here we are at the last minutes of the show. I'm still trying to work with people on stuff, and so this has been here for a while, but you're bringing Joe stuff to a Transformer convention. It's still unused. Everything's still inside the box. Box has been open. 75. I think I can get them down a little bit more because these are drying up, and this figure is much more difficult to get now. So I am hoping that'll work out. And just like that, as we were hoping, he said 50, because at the end of the show, they're just like, I don't want to go home with this stuff. Oh my God, I gotta. It is, the show's over. They're all packing up. And it is 3:30 and I'm still shopping. So I thought the whole thing was over too, guys. So another guy asked a question on this at this booth, and I was like, I missed that. So this is an original Japanese first edition of Optimus. This is it. I mentioned it earlier, I think, in a video. So I came back, and I didn't realize that, like, everything is pretty much unused, never been played with, maybe transformed once. All the paperwork here is sealed, is just unused completely. And that is something you do not find for early Japanese pieces. So I am going to have to engage in this piece. So he's asking a really fair price of $600 for it. I'm going to push him into $500, or just push him period, and then say I'll take it. But wow, I'm going to have to dive in, because you don't find these that often anymore, even in Japan. But unused like this is a different beast entirely. So we're going to jump on this. Okay. It is 4:20. And I thought the show was over. So I came up and I was like, what are you asking? And he's like, oh, no one's even asked you for a price. So I was like, okay. And he's like, I want $5. And I was like, that's big wheels can hit big money. Certain ones, but maybe these 70s ones with the boxes too. Like, some of these times you can sell the empty boxes of these for hundreds of dollars. And then the toys are worth a couple hundred or much more. It just depends. It's the boxes are a big problem. Hence, they stored it like this and they got crushed. But he took it for a whopping $380. And that seals the deal for Botcon. The deal that I had to do with the camera off involved prototypes. A very big, long-time collector decided to let go of a lot of key pieces, and we met up at Botcon, and this is a wonderful piece. This is the Transmetal Megatron T-Rex resin hard copy engineering sample. So this is a hand-cast resin fully transforming prototype that has been primered gray, as we mentioned earlier with that Cheetor. This is wonderful. I got this piece as a kid. I have a Transmetal Optimus in baby blue resin. This is before steel molds are made. When a sculpt is created by Hasbro Takara, it might be out of wood, it could be out of styrene, it could be out of a number of things. That's the original sculpt. Then they make molds from that sculpt, and then these resin hard copies are made. Maybe 3, 4, 5, or 6 or so of these will ever be made. Some will be painted, some will be like this, where they mark it right, left, they count it out, they break the parts down, they inspect it. This is just very, very hard stuff to find. And you can see the white resin peeking through right there. Absolutely glorious. Not only did I pick up this piece, I picked up a few other items, and let's get to those.
These are original unproduced samples of Reveal the Shield characters. Rumble was originally going to be released as Reveal the Shield and then was released for the Henkai 2-pack in Japan. There are differences in the colors, just subtly. Body block is completely repainted, and this was never produced. The figure itself was produced in 2 other alternate colors, and this is also the same for Downshift, which was never made in these colors. And it's surprising that they got this far along in production and then was still canceled. I mean, it's a lot of time and effort to get to this point where samples fully packaged are sent from the factory to Hasbro saying, is this good? Like, this is the final step. And then they canceled it. So stuff like this, you know, unproduced is always the best of the best. So it was an absolute thrill to pick up these pieces.